And how's everybody doing on this Tuesday? Welcome to Renewed. Oh, the show will not start shortly because it's already started. There we go. There we go. There it is. Welcome to Renewed. I'm Dan Bublitz Jr. This is the live interactive joke workshop where I am joined by another comedian and we go back and forth and workshop a few jokes. And if you're watching, you get to contribute. If you have an idea or a thought or a suggestion, all you need to do is leave a comment and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about your idea. So this is Renewed, the interactive podcast. And I'm going to bring out my guest. I have a fantastic guest today. I have a fantastic, she is a fantastic comedian. And I'm just going to bring her out. So put your little emojis up for Jenni Lou Russi. There we go. Hey, Jenni.
Hey, thank you so much. This is such a cool idea.
Yes, this is fun. It's been exciting to do, and the interaction's been really good. I personally have gotten a lot of good material out of this. You know, as far as like reworking jokes and things of that matter. So.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I get, if not new material, I hope I get a renewed sense of enthusiasm or something.
Right? Yeah.
It's really been difficult to, I used to just have this habit of writing. And seriously, almost the day that everything shut down, I was like, well, I'll write tomorrow. And I didn't pick it back up.
Yeah. I honestly, if it wasn't for doing this show here that I've been doing, I probably wouldn't be doing as much writing as I have been. But this kind of kicked me in the butt to do some writing,
right?
And workshopping. If nothing else, it's more rewriting because a lot of the stuff that I've been working on is just old stuff that just I don't know, it just didn't develop or didn't work. I have come up with some new bits that I've thrown up here. I got tonight. In fact, I'm going to have a new bit that I haven't done yet, but I'm going to throw it out there and see what we can make of it. So
to the wall.
That's right. That's all you can do is throw it at the wall till something sticks. Right? Throw it at the wall till something sticks.
Yep.
Going. So, well, we got a couple people watching. Again, if you are watching, this is Renewed. This is a live interactive joke workshop, a writing workshop where we're going to go back and forth and work on jokes. You're more than welcome to pipe in the comments. If you have a thought or suggestion on a bit, go ahead and pop in and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and let you present your first joke or bit that you want to work on.
All right. I'd like to talk more about Jesus because Jesus has been like the center of my life for a long time until about, 10, 15 years ago. And so I'm fascinated with the way we see Jesus. We think he looks a certain way. And that's because there was one painting and then everybody thinks, oh yeah, that's what Jesus looks like. But what if that artist had made a drawing of Elmer Fudd? One of you will be 12. So I don't know. That was the joke that I used to tell. And I would do it, I would just say, one of you will be 20. But nobody knows who Elmer Fudd is anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It is. But that's the nice thing about that joke, though, is that you can change it to something more, like up to the times. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You can use. You got a compliment on the act out.
Oh.
Tara Kilbride's watching. She's another fantastic comedian up here. She was on this show a few weeks ago. Excuse me. But you can use a different character with that, something that's common. Like, I suppose you would take some research because I don't know what the end, but I mean, something popular like SpongeBob or, something silly like that a lot, character that a lot of people know.
Right. Or somebody with a messianic delusion, maybe a politician.
Mm-hmm.
We all know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, anybody that's well known within current events,
if
or
on the cross, make it huge.
Yeah, you got something there. If and you could, that's one of them things too, where you could have a couple things ready. So like if you're watching your audience, gauging the audience, and kind of tell, like, if it's a conservative crowd, you're probably not going to want to go the Trump route, but you can have another thing ready so you can still do the joke.
Yeah. I don't know about, Jesus is pretty touchy.
It is. It can be. But I mean, I think it's all in how you present it too, because if you're not, you can do jokes about Jesus or whatever. It's whether, I think it's when, like with your joke, it's pretty innocent. You're just talking about how he looks, and it could have been anything, whatever that person drew is how he could have looked. And whereas you're not talking down on religion, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're not talking down on Jesus. It's more of an innocent joke. So I feel like you can get away with it without really dividing or losing your audience,
Right.
We got a couple suggestions I'm going to pop up here. She's got a question. What's the connecting line between the setup and the punchline?
Yeah. Okay. So the setup is that Jesus, that we have this concept of what Jesus looks like, and that concept is based on basically one painting, because all the paintings look alike. He's Caucasian, light brown hair, beard, and gentle face. So what if, why did they choose one model? Didn't they? And so that's the connection. I don't know. Maybe it's not clear.
Yeah. And I think I was just gonna say, I think you could, some of the description there could probably be cut down to where you could just be, simply just say, yeah, it's kind of funny that, we think everybody knows what Jesus looks like, but what if that's not what he really looked like? I mean, that's just what somebody drew. It could have, he could really look like, and then whoever.
and how I introduced it, this is like, what I did was I pulled out an old set list from 20 years ago. And I said, what did I say that I wouldn't say today? There's a lot. And what did Lee say? I was touched by Jesus, Charles Bobby File.
And then he's got another one. Follow up the Trump impersonation with, I did not have sex with the woman, Mary Magdalene. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Throw the first stone. Yep. So
Jesus as Kenny Loggins.
Well, see, and that's how I introduced it. I used to say, not as Kenny Loggins, but I used to say, why do we think that Jesus looked like one of the Doobie Brothers? And that's how I introduced the idea that that's what we think Jesus looks like. And in this process, I think I can mine this, but I do think, like, there's that line where when you're digging out old material and saying, hey, can this be refreshed? Is this still viable? I think that sometimes, I might discover that in a little while, that sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah, right. You never know what you're going to get when you start talking about religion. And, it's just...
or jokes. It's so much based on society, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is, because that's the other thing. This could be a joke that you do, like in a big urban area that does really well, but then in a more rural area where, religion is, they take it more serious or whatever, might do horrible. You just never know.
Right.
Excuse me. I don't know what my throat keeps like clogging up. We got some more comments here. It's purely accidental that Jesus looks so much like Nathan Holtz. And then Jesus looks like a Doobie Brother. Tag that with a well-known line from a Doobie Brothers song. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Well, Jesus is just all right with me.
And then this is a lot. Here we got the setup was clear. I think you can work on the transition line. Everyone thinks Jesus looks like blank, but what if he looked like blank? Yeah. Or even what if you made it a comparison to dinosaurs? We don't know what he sounded like, and then you could do a verbal impressions. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and maybe I should do more than one, just go from one to the, and maybe even throw a woman in there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, and that's because you could, do that where it's like, because we don't know what they look like. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's it. And people,
yeah.
And what made me think about this? Yeah, thank you. And maybe I should tie this in with that. I used to sing. I used to be a gospel singer, and so I would sing at people. I traveled singing at churches, and then I would get asked to sing at funerals and weddings, and so I was always singing the Lord's Prayer. It seemed like every other week I was singing the Lord's Prayer, and I sing it a little differently than what you hear sometimes. I don't know. I just, every vocalist puts their own spin on it. And my mother, after church one time, got very upset. And she said, "You sing it the way Jesus intended." Jesus never heard it sung. And she said, "Oh, yes, the way he said it in the Bible." And I'm like, there was no sheet music in the Bible. But maybe, I haven't used that, but I think maybe I should explore that a bit.
Yeah, there's definitely some room there. And then there's Jesus sounded like Fred Schneider from the B-52s. If you see a faded cross by the top of the mount, that says 15 miles to the crucifixion. And then another one.
More faith in the audiences to which I perform than I do.
Yeah. How did Jesus sing? That's a good one. Yeah, you could definitely. Yeah, that's that's like the same kind of version of it, going with how he sang versus what he looked like.
Yeah.
Because oh, we got another one. Oh, they got all kinds of suggestions coming in for this. Sometimes Jesus on the cross sounds like a drag star. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, you down there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Definitely got some ways to go with that.
Yep, I'm gonna have to. The one good thing is that there are some open mic opportunities that are fresh. That it's not just my friends. It's so weird at open mics because your friends will laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I will say, please don't laugh if it's not funny, because that's what I count on, is knowing whether or not it's working. And with this, A, I can't hear my friends laugh, and B, I can do mics where I have no friends, which there are a lot of them. I have very few mics where I have friends.
I feel like that's everybody.
Yeah, just because I was Baptist doesn't mean I was popular.
Sexy gay Jesus. Or Paul McCartney, "Hey Jews, don't make it sad." Definitely lots of avenues to explore with that. I do really like that, talking about being the singer and then going in the route of, how do you know how Jesus sang? Right. How do we know what he sounded like?
I mean, obviously he was a rocker.
Yeah, obviously. According to the pictures anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's what you could do. You could lead into that. You could start with, we all have this impression of what Jesus looks like because one person drew a picture of Jesus, and that's, you know, that's what we think of him now. But what if they drew something else, and then you could go into the story about being a you know, gospel singer and singing, and then that story with your mom, and then take that whole bit into not about what it where the emphasis isn't really what he looked like. That's more of just kind of a setup or a transition into the meat of the joke and the bit, which is actually how he sounded.
Yeah, because he looks like he was heavy metal. I think he was up there on the cross saying, "Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor."
Yeah, see. And you could, because you could even do like little parodies too, you know, like where you add you make them so that they're gospel-esque.
Yep.
You know, where they have like messages from the Bible or something. But like, you know.
And then how did we get that gospel style?
Yeah.
It was from Jesus.
Yeah, you got 12 Apostle, clearly roadies. Mary's the groupie. Oh. Yeah. Sermon on the Mount. Best open mic ever. And then we had yeah, heard that, but not how he sang. So yeah, definitely some good.
Right, because I mean that's like thanks for bringing that up, because it's not just like in comedy that it's talked about, but in other ways they talk about it. You know, like people's well, you know, why is he white? You know, I mean that's a common. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I'm gonna dig in that.
Yeah, I like it. I like that where it goes, where, you know, going more into the how he sang or talked or even sounded. You know, for all we know, he was a mute. You know, it's like you had to be there to know.
He's a loner.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll do my first bit. Mine is it's not really a bit, it's more of some notes that I wrote, because it's something I just thought of the other day after having a conversation, multiple conversations with my fiance. But it has to do with I get really annoyed by people who just smile and nod when I'm talking to them, you know, or they just like like they're paying attention, and they're pretending like they know what you're talking about. But because I'm very observant and I'm really good at reading people, I can tell when they're not. Like, I can read them and I know that they have no clue what I'm talking about. And so I'll call them out on it, and I'll be like, hey, I just, or I'll call them out and be like, you have no clue what I'm talking about, do you? And then she'll respond with, no, not really. And I was like, why are you patronizing me? Why are you pretending that you know what's going on when you don't? Save me some time and effort and just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I can stop and save a breath, you know, and then that's pretty much that's the premise. Like I said, very
nod.
What?
That patronizing nod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's and some people can't help it. You know, it's just
look at this.
Instinctive.
Sorry, I got to interrupt you. You got a nice little compliment. Oh, John.
That's so sweet.
John's the best.
He really is.
And a smiley face. But yeah, that it's that patronizing nod where, like, and it happens a lot where, I guess where I'm trying to go with it, the direction I'm trying to go with it is just save me time. If you don't, you know, understand what I'm talking about, let's just get to that point, so I'm not wasting my time telling this story or you know, explaining whatever it is.
Right. But how do you let somebody know that? You don't want to interrupt them. So is it a blink? Do you just turn your back? how do what signal are we looking for when somebody's not understanding? You want them to scratch their head?
Yeah, doing some kind of like a universal sign for I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Why are they smiling, nodding? Because you aren't making sense? Emphasize that, perhaps. So it doesn't sound like you're calling them stupid.
And that's the thing, is that people are smiling and nodding because they're trying to be nice.
Yep.
That's just one. Don't be nice.
I guess that's where I could go with it. It was like, stop being nice. Yeah. Just be a jerk to me. I need more of that in my life.
If people were more assholey, then we would know where we stand with people.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think, because what I think I'm going to try to do with it is kind of go into the, talk about the smiling nod thing or whatever, and then tell some of the stories where I'm going to make it more personal and talk about my conversations with my fiance and how this happens all the time.
Is it specific to her?
Well, she's the one that does it to me the most. That gets caught. But I mean, it is a thing that people do where, they have that, And
the truth is that you talk to her more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And maybe Tara has a point that it's not her, it's you.
Yeah. And I like that. I do like that direction where the people are too nice.
Right. And maybe you need to dumb it down.
Yeah. Too nice. Okay. All right, I got some stuff there. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna explore the too nice. People are too nice, and a universal sign so they can interrupt without actually interrupting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it's just part of the conversation. You get that signal, just stop.
Okay. Yeah, definitely got some stuff to let's see, got here. I tried to dumb it down, but I just had no idea how really dumb people.
Well, you need to have that too. There's that signal for, where do you, you're here, Dan. I'm here. You need to turn it down here.
Yeah, we gotta get it. Too funny.
But I mean, haven't we all wanted to give people an IQ test before we talk to them? Because you wind up in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and you're like, this is a waste of my time, isn't it? I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny, and it's not even that. It's not like a conversation where it's like politics or things where you're not like the arguative conversation, right, but just any kind of conversation. We could be talking about anything.
Right.
And they, and in this situation, they pretend they know what you're talking about, and they're because it's things I'll be telling, and as an example, I'll be telling her about something or somebody, like a celebrity or a TV series. That's where it's a lot. It's dumb trivia that I know. We'll be watching a show, and then somebody will pop up, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this guy did blah, 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 blah. And she'll just be like, oh yeah, pretending like she knows the same facts that I do. Right. And I can tell that she doesn't know it. I'm like, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? And then she'll be like, no, not really.
And part of that is she probably doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure a lot of it is. But my point in it is that I don't even care that she doesn't care. I would just rather be stopped so I'm not wasting my time or my breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's definitely something to go with that too nice and having a universal way of just basically saying fuck off, essentially just fuck off. I don't get what you're talking about and I don't care.
It's not a coin you give to people.
Yeah, just everybody needs to carry around this specific coin, and when somebody's trying to talk to you and you just don't, it just says "fuck off."
Yeah. And you can't use it until someone gives it to you. You have
to
earn it.
Yep. That's a good idea too. Where there's only so many that get put into circulation, and then you can't use it until you have one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. All right. The shut the fuck up coin. I will donate to all 45. I like it.
That would be awesome, though, if you had these, because then that's the ultimate way to tell somebody to fuck off, is get all your friends to send their coins to that person.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because if I get this joke to work, there's an opportunity for merch. And that's to have little coins made up that you could sell after the show.
Yep. So we're starting here tonight. Be the first to put these into circulation.
Yep. I just thought of that. I was thinking about when you do the coin thing, you could totally turn that into little. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I got a lot on that one.
Good.
And so what do you got next?
Well, I lived in a town 20 years ago, according to this set list.
Really? You lived in a town?
According to the set list, I lived in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And in Carlsbad, they promoted the city with this brochure. And no lie, in the brochure, it said that 25% of their population was functionally illiterate. They put that in the promotional brochure for the town. But I guess they figured that anyone who would be insulted couldn't read it.
That's really funny. I like that. I like that tag that they just assumed anybody that could read it wouldn't be insulted.
So there's gotta be, what makes a city do that? Why would you, is it a cry for help?
Yeah, right. There's definitely an avenue to explore with that.
Right. Do other cities do that?
Or it's like, or is this city trying to keep people out? Is that how they're actually really smart and they all got together and they're like, hey, let's play dumb so other people won't move here.
That's the ultimate playing dumb.
We're gonna pretend that we're dumb and we're gonna say it out loud in our brochures for the city. And then nobody will want to move here. They'll be like, oh, they're too dumb. And then here we'll sit like geniuses going, the plan worked.
Their motto is on their license plates, it's the land of enchantment. So, but how'd they learn to spell that? It amazes me. They could spell a multi-syllable.
Well, and that's something, an avenue you could go with too, then, that it's just part of their plan. They're playing dumb, but the people are dumb then because they're not catching all these signs of how smart the town really is.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He said Lee says that's such a good tight joke. I wouldn't stretch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really good joke. It made me laugh. But if you wanted to, like I said, if you kind of wanted to go somewhere with it, I think there's something to be said about how they're really just geniuses.
Well, I mean, in New Mexico, there's that think tank. What is that? In Los Alamos?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there is a think tank there. I'll ask my personal think tank upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll ask the poli-sci guy. He's in his office upstairs. What's the think tank you'll never get in? You know.
Yeah, I really like the idea of a town playing dumb on purpose just so people won't move there, just to keep people out. That sounds like something I would be a part of. In my hermit ways.
I mean, just think how much better so many places would be. You know, New York City, if only they had been that smart. I mean, dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Too good.
Yeah, that's okay. So that gives me hope for that one. And I just, because I don't live there anymore, I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely, because you're right, because there are a lot, because I wonder that too, like, how do these cities, like different cities, come up with some of their slogans? I mean, some are pretty good, but then there's a lot of times, like a city slogan is kind of, you're just like, who they pay for that?
Right.
And like, how much did they pay for that? And why did they pay for that?
Well, I occasionally work in, as you know, I teach PR, and then I occasionally work in PR and marketing. And this is not something of which I'm proud, but for a cruise company, I did design a brochure that said, "The cruises you otter see." And they were cruises in Alaska, and I had a photo of an otter, a sea otter on it. The cruises you otter see. I that was in the 80s. I'm not proud of it. I made
You're like, that was a long time ago. Tara says, that could be a fun research project. You could find a few different city slogans.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are really, yeah. And I'm sure you'd find some real doozies out there.
Yeah.
She's also excited about the otters.
I'll send her an old brochure.
In my defense, cocaine was cheap. It was the 80s. Oh, that's great. Well, now I got a couple here. These are ones that I do, and I don't know. I do them, but I just haven't quite got them where I want them, I don't think. That's why I decided to throw them on here. So the first one I'm going to do is about having kids, where I open up talking about how I don't want kids. I decided I'm not going to have kids. I'm getting too old to have kids. But I say that I'm at that age where all my friends with kids think I should have kids, and, I've figured it out that people with kids want people without kids to have kids because misery longs for company. And that's always a line that gets mixed reactions. Sometimes it does really well. Sometimes it's like, that's not funny.
So why is it okay? Okay, obviously you're doing fine without children. Why is it socially acceptable to say to you, "Oh, you should try it"? I mean, it's not like you go into a dressing room and try them on. I mean, that's a permanent decision. And so why is it okay to encourage somebody to do something like that? I mean, it's even more than a tattoo.
Yeah, I like that. They're questioning it.
Conversely, it's not okay to say to somebody who's being an asshole with their kids, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't have kids.
Yep.
It's not okay. And it's usually, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I like that. That's a good.
It's usually great parents who are saying that. And the reason they're saying that is because it's for them.
Mm-hmm.
Some people should wear vertical stripes, and some people, they can wear horizontal.
But that's good too, because going that route with it is good, because it kind of leads into, when they try to convince me that I should have kids, because then the rest of the bit goes, then they'll try to convince me that kids are the greatest thing, that's like, oh, you don't know what life is until you brought life into the world, and blah 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 blah, and so then I go, I do that little act out. I'm like, well, whatever you need to tell yourself not to murder your own children, that's fine. I want the bags under my eyes from drinking, not changing diapers at 3 a.m.
And then, well, so by their rationale, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's parents should be saying, well, we did a great job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But then I also, with that too, then I go into because talking about them trying to convince me that I should have kids. And then they say, well, you would be a good father. And then I do, well, how do you know I'd be a good father? I mean, how well do you really know me? I wash my vitamins down with beer. And then I do this other bit too, where I said, I helped raise my kid brother. He's in jail. And like, I'm not doing very good.
Doesn't it make you question what they're doing, that they know you so well?
Yeah, that's a good. Why do they know me so well?
Yeah, maybe they should spend more time with their kids.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't say, just I have them. I think that's the ultimate punchline. That's the final. It's like, maybe instead of worrying about me and what I should be doing, maybe they should spend more time with their kids.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't want me to have them. And then we got some stuff up here. I just think kids are a gateway drug to raise the village. That's really good.
Yeah, which comes first, the kid or the village?
Yeah. If I get a bad two, I can have it covered up. But if I have a bad kid, I'm not allowed to say, hey, you should have that covered up.
Those are great. You really got some stuff here.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here.
And so many people can relate to this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are so many things that people wouldn't dream of telling people what to do, I mean, it's insulting if somebody, but the most private, the most personal things, like, I've had people say to me, you should lose weight. And I'm like, fuck you. That is such a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I said fuck.
No, that's okay. I don't know if you must not have been paying attention to the beginning when I dropped a couple of bombs right at the top. I'm Blanket attachment therapy got violent in the 70s.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, because that's how I could open it too. I could open it up about how come some things are socially acceptable to say to people while other things aren't. And then I could do the, people can come up to me and say, you should have kids. And then I can say, but I can't say you shouldn't have kids. And then I could go into the whole bit about it.
Well, now here's something. I mean, the two examples we were just talking about for you, on one hand, people just smile and nod because they want to be nice, but they don't want to tell you what to do. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
But here, there are people who don't want to be nice. They want to tell you what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably work them into one big whole chunk.
Yeah. Those
the opposites
get together and talk.
Yeah. It's people are so confusing.
Maybe those two people should have a child together.
Can't convince my friends to all buy motorcycles. No way should I give them input on having kids. And then Tara said that the blanket attachment therapy was a response to covering it up.
Oh.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I think that's a good direction to go. with that, comparing it to the socially acceptable to say certain things to people.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately get to that punchline with maybe you should pay more attention. Maybe you should spend more time with your kids, and then you wouldn't want me to have kids.
Yeah. I also think I think somehow, depending on how you craft this into your set, especially if you have merch, if you sell the coin,
Mm-hmm.
I think you could get that into another way of saying, "Here's your coin." You know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, I could. Yeah. There's a way to like work the merch in, so since it's a coin, it could have two signs, like two sides or whatever.
Yeah. Don't tell me to have kids. Shut the fuck up.
Because your kid is over here drinking with me on Fridays. Yeah. Which, shh, don't tell anybody my secrets.
With that, like I as a teacher, I work with people who are, I can tell when they enjoy basically parenting. I mean, teaching is a lot like parenting, and I just see where certainly I've been tempted to say, wow, you would be a great parent, but that's not my place to say. If they came to me and said, hey, I'm going to have a kid, then I say, wow, I think you're going to be a great parent,
Yep.
But I don't say that otherwise. But at the same time, I have said things because there are some people who I think they parent in other ways. And maybe that's what you're doing. So they should just leave you the fuck alone,
Yep.
By teaching, by mentoring. I mean, let's be honest, I'm sure you've had some feature acts you were parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely been there. Yeah. Yeah. I could, yeah, but I like the different angles with that. I think I'm gonna work that out to that direction. I think it's way better than what I had. I think I had kind of a few little funny lines in it or whatever, but it wasn't strong enough. It was more premisey than it was an actual joke.
It wasn't crafted yet. But I think you've got some traction here, because I think that with both
I do.
premises, you could tie them together.
Pet owner. You should get a fish. Great angles with the social loans. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that is all good stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna pass it back to you. We're gonna go till about for another 5-ish minutes with the back and forth, and then what I like to do is I like to do a Q&A with the people watching. So if they have things that they want to do, so I'll go ahead and let you do. We'll do one more with you, and then we'll do a Q&A.
Okay. My closer is about opera.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a, it's a big closer. And something that I'd like to explore is just, I'd really like to try to have an opening that was like that. I'd like to just work with maybe doing bookends.
Mm-hmm.
And so where else could I go, or even start off with about opera? And about the fact that I sing, and I would like to do more singing in my act.
Well, I this kind of like you're talking about the bit that we worked on of mine and how they kind of go in hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same thing here. Doing that opening kind of with the Jesus thing and leading that into the singing leads into your background as a singer.
Right. What if Jesus was an opera singer? Okay. Yeah.
And Tara's asking what the opera closer is.
Oh, that people tell me that I'm too old to be an opera singer, and I don't believe that's true, because a woman's voice matures as she gets older. I might be in my 60s, but I just had my sexual peak, and a woman gets her vocal peak at the same time. So, it's not into my so distant past that I had my sexual peak and my vocal peak, 2 peaks at once. A little to the left. Don't move. Tell your friend not to move either. You can hear my dog barking in the background.
That's so great. I love it. Yeah, people tuning in didn't know they were going to get a little bit of opera tonight.
Dog.
Said Toe in the Water with commentary on Queen's opera section on Bohemian Rhapsody, rock and roll tie-in with the Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I honestly think if you work on that other bit, you could work at that as kind of an opener.
To kind of work the opera into the Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because how you could start it is, going into that Jesus bit, talking about being a gospel singer and your background in music, and then that can lead into, not only do you do gospel music, you do opera, and then maybe do some, and then you could even do, what if Jesus was a gospel or a opera singer? Like what if gospel music was sang as an opera, and then you could maybe do a couple little verses of some popular gospel songs in opera.
Right.
Like, how different would that be if, Amazing Grace was an opera, and then you could do, a couple lines from Amazing Grace or something to that.
Or This Little Light of Mine. Yeah, I'm gonna explore that, and maybe I can start off with a gospel song.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs written about Jesus. Did Jesus sing? How did he sing? Yep. Yeah. A lot of avenues there.
Right.
You could even do something about what is it? Is that musical Jesus Christ Superstar? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
You could do Jesus Christ Opera Star, and where it's like, what if that wasn't a music? What if it was an opera?
And it could be other forms of music, because then I could say, I could talk about being a gospel singer, and then say, but my passion changed, and I'm in opera.
No, exactly. And I think you should lead into that, because that's showing that you have a background in music. So you're starting with the Jesus and doing gospel singing, but your real passion is opera. And then you could talk about, what if some of the gospel songs were actually opera songs, and then you could do a couple of that. Then that book ends your closer when you get back to the opera.
Right. I just thought that would be kind of fun, just kind of make it more like, I don't know, a show.
Jesus Christ.
Porn star.
Well, he did get nailed. Oh, that was in poor taste.
Jesus Christ on Star Search.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
You could even do, what if he could sing, and what kind of songs you think he'd sing if he was on American Idol or The Voice or
The Voice. The Messiah.
Or America's Got Talent. Or...
Well, actually, America's Got Talent and The Voice and all those shows, actually, during the time of Jesus, there were many people who claimed to be the Messiah. And it was kind of like The Voice for the Messiah. People were vetting other people, based on the miracles that they performed. And there was actually a dude named Jesus who went by the name of Jesus, and it was confusing in biblical text. It was like basically Jesus's identity was stolen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's just even knowing that, that's stuff that you could throw in. There's a lot of opportunity there. And you could, like I said, there's a lot of opportunity too to make this a good opening bit. And then that way you have your bookend.
Yeah. I have to look that up. Yeah, because I have some research someplace about that. So.
Just running with Star. Well, she said, I'm so sorry. And then she said, just running with Star.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Star Search was good. That's
we're throwing
like,
stuff at the wall. That's yeah.
Yeah, all the different contests. Because I like the whole concept of Jesus competing in a music contest. I think that's pretty funny. All right, well, we are going to wrap up, so we're going to do the Q&A section that I like to do towards the end of the broadcast. So now it's just an open Q&A. If you guys have any questions, if you have a bit that you want to throw out there and get some ideas from us, you can do that. And Messiah's got talent.
Messiah's got talent.
Yeah, you can still hear me good, Jenny? Because you froze up. Okay, because you froze up. So
okay.
So hopefully, as long as you can hear me, your picture's frozen, but
okay, could be my.
That's all right. But that's all right. We're about wrapped up, so it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I'll just wait and see if anybody's got any questions they want to throw out there. Oh, Lisa's new bit. I'm worried about. New bit I'm worried a little about. All right. Well, what is it? You're holding us in suspense, Lee. And we got, she says, I'm working on perfectionism. I'm such a perfectionist that could use some random thoughts.
Well, I don't know. I'm tempted not to help you because I don't want to be an enabler.
Oh, that's funny. We haven't got to yours yet, Lee. He's too twisted. He put a question mark up there. All right. I'm such a perfectionist that. Oh man, what are some things that a perfectionist would do? That.
Well, none of the responses that we like a perfectionist. That's the frustrating part with perfectionists, and sometimes I'm this way. Nothing anybody else suggests is good enough.
I'm such a perfectionist that I couldn't finish this joke.
Yeah. I have the perfect joke in mind, but it's just not.
Yeah, I'm such a perfectionist. I couldn't finish writing this joke because none of the punches. Wasn't happy with any of the punchlines. Oh, I'm such a perfectionist.
And to be around other people who aren't perfectionists, they just don't understand it. Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah.
They're mediocrity, such a perfectionist that, you can't find the perfection in mediocrity. That's all I got.
While other people see blank, I see blank. Oh, yeah, like an idea like that. So, yeah, what she's saying is, I'm such a perfectionist that people see blank, I see blank. You could do like, you could go, people see a painting, some people see a Picasso, I see and then like an artist that maybe nobody's heard of or something like that, where to you it's a piece of crap painting, like people, there's a lot of paintings that people think are beautiful, or like a good one would be the Mona Lisa. You'd be like, people see the Mona Lisa and think it's such a beautiful piece of art. I see the Mona Lisa and it's just looks like a homeless woman or something like
I
that.
see the Mona Lisa and it looks like a selfie gone wrong. I see the Mona Lisa and I think, damn, girl, don't you have a selfie stick? I see a Mona Lisa and I think, damn, don't you have filters?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Shit talking art, masterpieces, anything like that. Anything that the populace thinks is great. That's where you could, you could do the dig at. So like even a song, you'd be like, somebody hears a song, they're like, wow, that's a beautiful piece of music. I hear that song and I think, oh, that sounds like someone's beating on trash cans in the alley.
It's people see a beautiful sunset, and they claim it's beautiful. I can't help but think, gee, you should have seen the sun 10 billion years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. She says, so that's all good. That's good. Good takeaway from the self-deprecation and shit talk on other things might be funny. Yeah, definitely. I think you got some ways to go with that. All right, Lee, we're going to go back to you now. All right. Now, this is the bit that Lee threw up there. I got new underwear today. They feel great. Prior to me, the only person that has touched my underwear was a 12-year-old girl in Malaysia. Oh, jeez. Damn. Too twisted? Maybe. It's like I keep trying to fix the spelling of Captain Crunch. Oh. The thinker. Put some pants on it. It is pretty twisted, but it's also pretty funny. Just
well, now, so is that
Jesus?
Is that because she made it? Is she?
Yes, I think that's it. Yeah. That's the idea. Is because they made it. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess then you'd have to follow it by saying something about the sewing machine. I mean, then maybe he's so scary.
Oh, Tara says, thanks, friends. Got to run. Great show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would definitely tag it to, because it is funny, but it is a thinker too. Like people have to really consider, because the first thought is that, it's kind of a child, like a pedophile kind of joke where you're actually, literally making fun of.
And that's why we laugh.
Yeah, exactly. We got it. Yeah, it was funny.
So you can't take that out of it.
No, but what I'm saying is you definitely need to do kind of like you said, tag it with something to let the audience know it's not a joke about pedophilia. It's about children making clothes in another country.
I don't know. A sewing machine circumcision just doesn't. I don't know. A sewing machine circumcision. I don't know.
Trying to think. Yeah, that's because it's definitely got legs. But yeah, like I said, I just gotta do
child labor.
Oh, I missed this too when I was going through it. He also said, all I can see is that they needed to sand down the brushstrokes. Oh, that was for Tara's bit. Okay. My bad.
But yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe you need the brushstroke sanded down in your underwear.
I got new socks also, but no one get weirded out by a 12-year-old girl making socks. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I like the angle. I just don't know. We got to think about it, but going with the angle with something to do with the sewing machine or a stitch in the underwear,
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to make it real clear that because what makes it funny is because of the double entendre. But then the tag has to remove one of the entendre.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But All right. Well, that's got something to work on. Sorry we couldn't get it figured out for you, Lee. But that is we got to end the show. It is an hour, and I gotta go get ready for another thing. So, Jenny, thank you so much for workshopping with me tonight. Where can people find you?
JenniLou.com. JenniLou.com.
All right, go check out all her comedy. Hey, and everybody that watched, thank you guys all so much. You guys are all fantastic. This show would literally not be a show if it wasn't for you helping out, because this is what it's all about. Workshopping the jokes together, getting better together, getting better together. Lee's saying,
yeah, good to see you too, Lee. I'll see you soon. As soon as all this is over, I'm bringing my motorcycle down.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you guys, and have a good rest of your night.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're ending. Bye-bye.